Welcome to another edition of Field of Dreams on ACTN. And my name is Steve David. I'm your host. And joining me on the set today, I've got four of the football academy coaches or owners or whatever they are, but we would meet them shortly. Let me introduce my co-host, Narada Wilson. Welcome to set, Narada.
Pleasure to be here, and today we're dealing with the topic with Academy, which are some of the fundamental persons in the introduction of football in Trinidad and Tobago. A pleasure.
Great, good to have you. I'm going to start with Anthony Sherwood. Anthony, tell him who you're representing and a little bit about your
Well, first
academy.
of all, thanks so much, Steve, for having me once again. We've got on a football club that's based here in San Fernando. We've been in existence for about 4.5 years, and so far so good. You know, there are challenges, of course, that everybody here can speak about. But at the end of the day, we're all after the same thing, which is developing young players.
Okay, next Anthony is Sandra Pompey. Sandra, who are you representing today?
Then the Gasparilla Youths. We locate South Trinidad. We have been existed from 1989 and continue. As Mr. Sherwood said, we are here to in the line of developing youths and taking youths to the next level.
And I've got Stephen Pompey.
No,
I mean Stephen Bartholomew, right?
Mhm.
Sorry. Sandra Pompey. Stephen Bartholomew. Stephen, who you represent?
I represent Waterloo Institute of Soccer Players, and I also represent Cap-Off Youth Football Club. The, the, the club has been in existence since 1989, and the academy has been in existence since 2000. So with the academy, we're probably now going to the 15th year. We're located in central Trinidad at Waterloo Secondary School, and we actually develop players from age 3 to 19 years. And I want to say thanks for ACN TV for having us here to talk about development.
And Dustin Williams, who you represent?
Everyone, thanks for having me. I represent Dunstan Williams Soccer Academy. I'm located, I use the practice field number 2 of the Manny Ramsden Stadium.
Okay.
And I'm in my 16th year. I have kids from 4 years old to 17, boys and girls.
Okay, viewers, these are the people that responsible for supplying our nation with young youth footballers, and they're very important to our growth. And we welcome all of you guys to set. Appreciate you guys being here. Where we start? Let's start with what got you guys into this kind of, and we can go one at a time. That's not everybody.
Okay,
Start with you, ladies first.
I really was not into soccer as such. I have two brothers that played football and also always give them the support. I lived out of the community of Gasparilla for a short while, and then I came back to Gasparilla. And some youths came to me and asked me to manage their team. And I told them I knows nothing about football. I know I could cheer on football. And then they asked me, I decided, okay, all I could do is manage and getting involved with the youths, and I decided to get further into it. So I went on and do my little coaching courses in level 1. And then I went on to coaching the children in the community, primary schools, and just keep developing and taking them from one level to another level. Then I went on, continued doing coaching courses, went to the secondary school, reached out in the secondary school at the Marvelous South Secondary, that I captured 2 titles at Marvelous South Secondary and continued there on, continuing my community also, coaching football. Right now I'm just at my level C license. I yet to do my level B, but looking forward to do it. I'm not only involved with football, I'm also involved with netball. So my club also have a netball department that I'm also involved with. So we have two netball teams. Um, so that is where I get involved. I see the need of the youths in my community, and I went all the way out to keep them on the right track and to develop good sportsmen.
Okay. Anybody?
I
Stephen?
want to say that I got involved in football because I've been playing football since in primary school. But the the developing the youths and football at that level
Why everybody whispering?
came
You guys,
right.
everybody whispering. Let's talk.
Yeah, came mainly because I grew up in an area called Robeson Road. Well, I started to reside here, and that area the drug lord was taking it over.
Right.
And we decided that if we divert the attention of the youth into the game football, um, obviously they will be off the street. They'll have something to come to meet and to play. And we found that the majority of parents at that time had children. So it was sort of easy to get like probably like a under 13 team. And, we train and develop them and discipline them. And, in that bunch of players, most of them now, have a good job. They play in the game. But apart from that, getting involved also, before that, I was also a football referee. And then eventually I ended up into football coaching with the TTFA. And Lincoln Phillip, I must call his name because I think he revolutionized, licensing the coaches and so on. And in the first set of coaches license, I was also involved in it. And what we saw eventually that we had to establish the football where we could put some structure into it. And we went into Waterloo Secondary School was just formed, and we did a proposal to the Ministry of Education to use the school so we could have class session and we could kind of take the play out of interference because when you're in a community ground, everybody is the coach, The parents is the coach, So we were able to structure it. And after we structured the football, we named the institute Waterloo Institute because we wanted to put structure into it. And then we realized there are a lot of Waterloos all over the world. So the first Waterloo that we got hooked up with is Waterloo in Canada. Right? So we started in 2003 and in 2004 we went to the first tournament there in Waterloo in Canada. We didn't do well, but coming out of it, there were some players who exhibit good skill set.
Yeah, but let's get into that a little bit later on.
Yeah.
So let me get
Well, I started a little differently. I mean, I played football primary school, represented Naparima College. But my first club I played for was Admirals in Marabella. But I attend Marabella Open Bible, and living in that community along with my pastor, Reverend Andy Homer, we decided that we would reach the kids in the Marabella area through football. So we evangelized through it. And obviously in 1999, I was a member of the Big Connection Football Club when the Pro League started. And I realized that we needed more development of the youngsters because when the Pro League came into being, not everybody would be selected. So I have since structured my organization and tried to develop the kids from as early as 4 years old into the technical aspects of the game and the different rudiments of the game. So here I am today.
For me, Steve, I mean, my reasoning for getting into the football was pretty simple, actually. I mean, I was based abroad in the States, and I would recall vividly sitting down in this restaurant owned by a good friend of mine, watching the national teams play and just lamenting, you know, some of the performances that we would see. Um, whilst in the States, I was involved with a very good club. We had a number of young players, youth players, who were going on to the national under 17 teams in the States, as well as the national under 20 teams. And it always amazed me that I would make, I tried to make these comparisons between what we were seeing of the American kids as compared to the kids that we have here in Trinidad and Tobago. And for me, when you look at technique, skill set, there wasn't that much of a difference between what we were seeing in the States as compared to what we were seeing here of the kids in Trinidad. But there were subtle differences that allowed them to be, in some cases, a bit more competitive. So, you know, I consulted with a few of my friends down here, and they suggested coming down and starting something very small, you know. And that for me is where it really began. Just having a sense of what these American kids are doing day in, day out to become as competitive as they are, certainly here in CONCACAF, and trying to instill some of those values, some of those attributes in some of the kids that we have here locally. So that's really the mission, quite honestly.
Okay, and from the work that you all have been doing over the years, you know, a lot of times I wonder if we have found a way to collaborate the efforts as to what is the particular goal of each of the academies. Because your goal might be to supply kids to the national team, but we haven't sat down and had a discussion as to what could be a unified goal amongst the academies. Do you think it's something that is necessary, that is needed at this moment for us to all be on the same page, or do you think each academy could have something separate? If I could leave it an open question to anyone.
And you guys can do it as a,
Yeah.
a barbershop discussion between yourself.
I,
Fluctuate.
I believe it's necessary.
Yeah.
I believe it's necessary because when I sit in my quiet place, we are a small drop in our national league. But if we could collectively come together, I think Trinidad and Tobago will be a better football league. I think that for me, I could safely say possibly there's too much bickering and this one wants to be this and that one wants to be that. But we all should be working towards a national goal, which should be under the umbrella of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association as well. And I remember the president saying that when he got into office, he would have all the academies registered and stuff. I mean, it hasn't happened as yet, but I think it's necessary.
Okay.
Yeah, I echo what Dunstan is saying, because one of the things that was very odd to me, I think I'm coming at it from two perspectives. One, having been immersed in an environment that is super organized in the U.S. I recall having opportunities where the director of football, youth football in America, Claudio Reyna, is on a conference call with coaches within a certain region. And essentially, he is just communicating to all of the coaches, the technical directors, the things that we should be emphasizing based on the deficiencies of the U.S.
Yes,
under
team.
17 team
Right.
or the under 20 team. So every day we go out to our training sessions, we're working with a goal and a common purpose. And one of the things that I felt when I first came back is that it just didn't seem as if that really existed here in Trinidad. It was almost as if I am doing what I feel may contribute. You know, Mr. Bartholomew's organization may be addressing different areas. So we're all doing sometimes different things as opposed to working together to get the national teams as good as they possibly can be. And in a country that's small, Steve, I mean, that shouldn't be that difficult. When you think about the US and the sheer size of that country, coordinating things becomes a massive, massive endeavor. So Trinidad is this small, and it just doesn't seem that the lines of communication are there. You know, everybody's still, I think, working somewhat independently.
At the macro level, I'm talking about TTF, the academies are unregulated. And for some reason, they seem not to want to touch the academies. They feel the academies making money, you know. As we just developing a product for football, right? And most of the time we have to put out of our pocket. But I'm saying that there's really a need for a national policy as to this is the style of play. There probably is a need for having national scout come into the academies to
Yeah.
make sure they
Correct.
have the same, so there's no regulation there. Yet the academies collaborate among themselves. I must say that a lot of the persons here, we play together, we talk about the game, we try to have activities that we could participate, with one another. But at the TTFA level, at the macro level, the academies are.
Because there was also, like you're saying, with the collaborative effort that Steve and I had a discussion before where we realized that there's not enough structured leagues for academies in the country. So you all tend to have to put on these mini tournaments or leagues between yourself, because we were only finding about 2 or 3 that may have happened throughout the year, but it's not consistent enough to give the young kids an opportunity to constantly be playing against the other
Let me
academies.
just expand on that. There isn't any recognized league outside of the Youth Pro League, which encompasses 10 teams. There is a massive cross-section of kids in this country who are not playing football regularly, either on a Saturday or a Sunday. If I am looking for a game for my kids, I've got to go Dunston and see if he's available, or Gasparello or Waterloo.
Okay.
And so there isn't anything, which for me is a massive, massive problem in the country at the moment.
Now, what happened last year, 75% of the coaches in South came together and we sat and we had something that I had in mind for for the past 4 years, because exactly what we are saying, we did not have that program on, like how we used to have the South Zone, the Central Zone, and the
Good.
So we came together and we sat and put a league together. But we had 75% of the coaches, South coaches, put together and run that league. And it was successful. We had even at going to the Muruga area, where these people came out when they saw these young boys, they put an under 15 team into the league. And when they saw these young boys come out and play, let me tell you, the whole community came out and supported that football. And by doing that, after they came and ran a league for themselves, a small league for themselves. We had the league played North the Creek, South the Creek. The winners played against each other. And it was of great success. Great success.
I've got to go to break now, but when we come back, we pick up where we left off. All right, guys?
Sure.
Viewers, we'll be right back after the short break.
Because we could coach them 5 days a week, but if we're not giving them that test, which is the game, to see how well their technique is, how well they tactically adjust.
We are inspired. We are practiced. We learn. We have challenges. We are supported. We persevere. And we shine. This is our commitment to you.
Viewers, welcome back. Guys, before the break, we were talking about the academies and, well, everybody doing their own thing and having different philosophies. But I kind of think that's pretty good in a way, because to have everybody doing the same thing, I mean, give people a choice where they want to go or what direction they want to take based on the multi differences in the academy. You don't think, or you think it should be unified, that everybody should be doing the same thing?
Not at all,
throughout?
Steve. I think although you may have a national philosophy, the truth is you may have coaches, some who have been more attacking oriented players. So you will find that their philosophy may be one that focuses a little more on just a dynamic way in which kids play.
Mm-hmm.
So the variety, I think, is excellent. But at the same time, there are things that we're not doing very well at the moment. I look at our national teams, for instance, and it's tough. It's tough because we're coming up against countries that are really, really organized, very, very motivated. And so if we sat back and said, listen, what we're doing at the moment is working, then I would say continue doing exactly what we're doing. But for me, a national team is always going to be a reflection of the quality of the players that you have in that country and the progress or lack thereof that's taking place. At the moment, based on the way our national youth teams have been going, what it says is that it's a little bit of a struggle.
So, based on what you just said, I want each of you guys give me one change you think should happen with the academy, the way it runs now, or to make it support our national team in a holistic way.
I would say that we need to play more.
Play more.
The kids need to play more. It doesn't have to be a competitive game per se, but they need to play more. Their experiences when they play would help their development. Because we could coach them 5 days a week, but if we're not giving them that test, which is the game, to see how well their technique is, how well they tactically adjust, I think we'll just be going around in circles. I would say play more.
Okay, what other change from you guys, the rest of you guys, that you think? Give me one.
I think we need to have a unified method of coaching. And I'm saying it from the background that some coaches still warm up exercise, which is the beginning of the game, is running around the park.
It should be what?
Running around the park.
Huh?
Running around the park.
Okay.
Rather than probably using the ball to do the warm up. And I think to some extent we had a curriculum with Anton Cornell, but I'm not too sure it filtered on to all the coaches so that we could have a structure. And I using the word, a car has a model. The model probably look at the shape. So you'll have differences in how you do it, but it has the same basic parts of it that has to make it move.
Right. Okay. What do you think, Sandra?
Well, basically what they had said, but I think TTFA has something in program that they have was the grassroots program, and then they move on to the elite program.
No, but you don't have any change that you think that needs to be?
Well, it's basically what they were saying. More games, playing more games, more not competitive as Mr. Dunn they have more game playing so that they will be able to adjust themselves properly in the game.
Okay.
And you for yourself will see what you have to work on their development. Because that's the way you'll be able to assess the kids. All right? But I think the TTFA had started a good program, and once it continue, I believe it should do the work.
Grassroots. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And even the elite program.
Okay.
Yeah, that was to the youth.
I just think there has to be better lines of communication that exist with the TTFA, between the TTFA and all clubs in Trinidad and Tobago. Again, the asset I think that we have is the fact that we're a small country. And I think you need to have people, vibrant people, who are at the head of football, who are willing to go out into the various communities where there are football environments and just communicate and build relationships. So if I am the technical director of football in Trinidad, I'm telling you, one day I'm in Cedros, the next day I'm in Miaro, the next day I'm in Central, For 6 days out of the week, I am touching every region of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to make sure that the guys in Cedros are commended for the work that they're doing, but maybe this is the emphasis in Cedros. Maybe they have great players in Cedros, but we have to focus now, based on what we're seeing in Cedros, on a little more physical development.
Correct.
So that guy in Cedros is not just doing something haphazardly. He's working with a purpose. And if that communication is there, I think it makes it easier for everyone to get on the same page. Now, again, Steve, if things are working well, if you're sending a national under 16 team to a CONCACAF tournament and they're super competitive, they may not win, but against the US, it's a 2-1 game, it's a 2-2 game. You can say, listen, what we're doing, there's some success here, you know? If that's not happening, then you have to constantly reevaluate your position and try to find the right way forward.
Sounds as though you guys, you need a league, a football league for your academy to, but are you going to support it? Because,
Yeah, of course.
You know, we say that and we do a league, and we've talked about that before, but the academies need to support that league. And are they going to support it, or they play one season and then you don't see them no more, and then the league is struggling? What do you think?
I could probably answer that.
Okay, answer that for me.
When we started our club, Capo Youth,
Yeah.
there was no league around. It was a little before the Pro League, Youth League. And in 2000, we started to, we wrote to the TTFA at that, for the TTFF, and they gave us permission to do a Capuchina Youth Football Super League.
Right.
And the league is in its 18 year and still running.
You talking about the minor league?
Well, it's sanctioned by the TTFA.
For the youths? Or
For the youth.
For the youth.
For the youth.
Okay.
It starts from, it was an under 17 age group for a good while, and then we started to look at like the under 8, 10, 12, 14, 16,
Okay.
18.
So you had it for
And
under
girls.
17, one age group.
Yeah, for about 3
Yeah, I
or
was
4
talking
years.
about like the smaller group, the 13-year-olds and the 12-year-olds.
Yeah, well, it started for the first 3 years like that, and then eventually we saw the need
yeah,
to incorporate the younger age
I
group.
got
So just putting Trinidad and Tobago on notice. The 18th annual will be starting just after Carnival, and we took it at one other level. We have also a futsal youth tournament for the 10, 12, and 14. We're doing it as a club, as a community thing. We always seek the permission of the CFA and the TTFA.
That's in Capuchina, is it?
We call it the Capuchina Youth Super League, but it sometimes plays all over Trinidad. Because last year we had games played in Arima, right? And a year before we played on Cookie ground. But most of the games are played in Central Trinidad on the fields in Central.
Okay.
And plenty of the clubs there. And Chauvin probably hasn't been around long, but Gasperillo has been probably one playing that since we started with Mr. James. John would have been. So we get a lot of support. We probably had about 70-something teams last year.
Okay, and what I wanted to ask is, in terms of today in Trinidad and Tobago, because we're seeing some of the negatives that are happening in this society, over the years, have you all seen the need for persons looking for academies because of the environment that they provide, the safety, the fact that it's dealing with the young kids, or is it that people are more or less declining, sending the youths out to practice football in these, facilities and stuff? What do you think? Is it benefiting the academies, or is it not?
I would say it's beneficial. But first, I just wanted to touch on something Anthony said about the technical director going to different areas. I think that one of the things we didn't talk about was improving our coaching education.
Right.
So that the academies have recognized coaches who have gone through coaching education. But I think it's beneficial. I think for me, I have never marketed my parents look, For different reasons,
Yeah.
obviously, for their kids to be involved in physical activity. I think one of the basic things that I did was when kids came, I said, "You're coming here, and by the time you leave here, you'll be able to make your primary school team, secondary school, because we're gonna go through the rudiments of the technical aspect of the game. But obviously, they come to play.
Yeah.
But I think even the environment we live in, with the crime and all of that, people are looking for secure locations for their kids to play and
What are you guys' biggest challenge so far as an academy? Something that year in year out, it's just there. It's sitting in front of you every day. What is your biggest challenge?
I have two challenges. One, I don't think that South has enough football fields, so that even if we look at having a league,
Yeah.
there's going to be a problem in terms of getting fields for the league to run.
Logistics, yeah.
Right.
And the second thing is marrying academics and football or any discipline of sport.
Okay.
I mean, I coach at the college level, I coach my academy, but getting kids sometimes with the more contact hours that you want. You're fighting with band practice, you're fighting with lessons. Kids are going to lessons from standard 3 and from form 1. And they have lessons out of a 7-day week, 5 days a week. We don't have the daylight saving time that Anthony would know in the US that they could have practiced at different hours. But it's a major. That's
your challenge.
challenge.
What are the other?
My challenge is basically the same thing concerning the academics and the football. Children going to lessons and what have you. Finance also is also a big challenge for my children in my community, the group of children that I deal with.
Meaning what? They don't have the
Finance, like finance, like to go to play tournaments, getting little equipments and whatnot towards
Okay.
the club, because my club is basically you don't pay to come to my academy,
That's right.
right? So just like getting finance from the people from the community and whatnot is a problem.
Right.
And also the other problem that we face is coaches. I do not have enough coaches to deal with the amount of people in my academy. Right? I am the only, I believe, qualified person right now, and still not too qualified because the B license is in the air. So I'm just
Right.
at the C. My daughter assists me, and they just do like little small crash course to deal with 12-year-olds and whatnot. She and another player come on my team. And the academy have like 132 players. So basically I have to work with all, whether it's the under 6, with the under 6, the under 8, the under 12, go straight up to the senior boys.
So let me say something. Why don't you take 10 people from your community and do your own coaching with them so they can assist you?
Well,
in
we
doing that?
did try through the SFA, but they told us we need more than 10 persons
Okay, so get 20.
to get. That is very hard because it come at a cost,
It's a cost.
right?
Of course.
So it come at a cost. Asking other people, it's tough. So through the same program that I told you, we run the league.
Mhm.
I try to get the rest of clubs to get some of the players certified
Right.
to come and do the coaching courses.
I
But
got
we
it.
didn't get that off. So hopefully this year we could get that
Okay.
part happening through the SFA.
Right.
I must say we all have challenges, and I probably want to highlight one of the
Is what?
challenge that I feel that is important for like an academy to really have full potential is parental support.
Support from
Yeah.
parents.
Parental support. What we do, we try to make sure to have meetings so that parents could buy in. Because we are non-profit organization. The corporate sponsorship that you're looking for, you probably will get it far in between.
It probably.
Far in between. So we have to now look at fundraising activities right? So we embark on both those things that could really make some money. And we're fortunate to have the parent support. But you have to engender it, you have to make sure it happens. Otherwise, most of the players could just be coming, drop off, and coming to pick back up again.
So you do get parental support or you don't get parental support?
But it's a challenge to get them to buy in. You have to devise a strategy.
Okay, but you make it
in
happen.
my case, yeah, but
okay,
always
so
a challenge.
you overcome your challenge. I mean,
It-
at least
it's
you
ongoing,
work it.
It's
Huh?
ongoing, so it's ongoing. It's never overcome.
Well, nothing is ever set in stone here. Everything
Yeah.
has to be continuous improvement and
Yeah.
continuous work to make it happen. But I hear you. Anthony, what's your big challenge with?
I mean, everything. Funding, I would love to be in a position to take, maybe an under 13 age group to Europe, and be involved in one of those competitions. I don't think our kids here locally will ever get a true sense of what the level of football is like unless they have that opportunity to play against an Ajax, a PSV, PSG, So we could be here working, and our guys are thinking, listen, we're doing a great job, I'm the star in the colleges league. But until he gets on the field with kids who are on the verge of becoming big professionals, you'll never really understand what the level is like, So funding, I think, for everybody here is going to be a problem, But I think the way we've got to approach it is that I think, especially with the parents and corporate Trinidad, you've got to give them a reason to buy into what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I think we try to do is that we try to highlight the little successes that our kids are having. So we want people to say, listen, I remember seeing that kid at 13, and 4 years later, this is where he's at right now. He's doing wonderfully well. I'd like to be affiliated with something like that, So at the same time, I think, Dunstan was saying, and I think we all feel that way, we don't ever really want to engage in what's referred to as advertising what we do, because I think there's some kickback when you do that. But at the same time, I think we've got to really sort of highlight all of the great things that's happening at Gasparilla, or at Waterloo, at the Dunstan William Academy. So it's an ongoing challenge, But I feel excited about it, quite honestly. I see the differences between a nation that has emerged in the world game, not where they want to be, and where we are. And with a little bit of a push, I feel like we could really close that gap, But everybody's got to buy into it.
Okay, I need to take a break now. But when we come back, Narada, I'll let you ask the question to the panel. We'll be right back.
On the other side of it, I mean, we have quite a few kids who've gone off on scholarship. I can't really sit here and attest that they are part of our setup from the very onset. Many of them went to Presentation College.
We are inspired. We are practiced. We learn. We have challenges. We are supported. We persevere. And we shine. This is our commitment to you.
Welcome back, viewers. Narada was going to ask the question.
Yeah, so we're sitting down here, but a lot of the academies have been very positive in the lives of many young men. They've traveled, some to the States, South America, North America, and some of them have even worked with some of the top individuals on scholarship and on the national team. So if any of you or each of you could try and give some of the positive things that over the years the academy has been involved in, or some of the persons and players that you all have influenced over the years. Don't mind if I start with Mr. Donson Williams and we go down the line.
Okay. First of all, I want to say that at my academy, I try to expose the kids to as much football as I can. So for the last 6 years, we go to Tobago every year. It initially started with U17 straight down, but it's
Right.
now coming to around the U14 because of the CXC exam and stuff like that. And for the last 3 years, I've carried a U17 team to Grenada in 2015. I went to Florida in 2016 to expose the kids to some university coaches. And last year we went to St. Lucia. This year we are planning a trip to Sao Paulo, Brazil. My relationship with Jerry Vidal, son of Edgar Vidal, we are going to a camp there and currently under 19s to train in a facility and play games. In terms of people who have made it, Rebecca Almondos, she is now abroad in the university, but she played with both the under 13, under 15, under 17, and under 20 national team.
Fantastic goalkeeper. Huh?
Yeah, and that's the goalkeeper.
Amazing goalkeeper.
Jabari Gray, who's at Presentation College, captain of the under 18 beach football team.
Correct.
You know, they coached the kid who is now a national cyclist, Nicholas Paul, who I thought had a lot of ability, but switched over.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I have a wonderful group of parents and a support group because Brazil is an expensive.
It is an expensive event, yeah.
But we're going at it head on, and let the chips fall where they may.
Mr. Bartholomew.
Thank you very much. Over the years, we have been able to look at exposing the player to the football abroad. We started in 2004 when we went to Waterloo, minor soccer club, and we've been there for about probably 4 times. We carried on the 13 team. Then we carried in 2008 3 teams, 3 age groups, including the girls.
Right.
And out of that girls team, we got 2 players at that time with the national under 17 girls made it to that national under 17 girls team.
Right.
Kerry Myers and Shalette Alexander. We also went once to the U.S., but the U.S. always have a challenge with visas, but we went once. We played in the Nation Cup in Orlando, Florida. It was an under 10 team. And we won that tournament. And it was all sponsored by the parent. And after the tournament, the Minister of Sports wrote us a letter thanking us representing because it made news abroad and so on. And some of the clubs that we beat sent us memorabilia, came in the mail. Right? We went in 2014, we decided to go to Spain. Right. But the Spain part of it came because we have a website and, we just got notice of it by an email to the website and the Ministry of Sport financed it. But we did it as a national project.
Correct.
We tried to invite as much clubs to get involved. Trendsetter Hawks players went with us, Faizabad. We had our players, and I think that was the core set of players. But we did pretty well. It was the Barcelona Summer Cup, but that cup and that tournament showed the level of football in Europe.
Correct.
How it's been organized, and it was really amazing. I mean, I say you were playing inter tournament like if you were representing your country.
Yeah.
The bus coming to pick you up, carry you to the game, bring you back.
But that's how they do it abroad.
Yeah. So
yes, we have that challenge.
But and it was fantastic. You feel like if you're representing your country. And last year we took on under 19 team to the MIC tournament. That is even a bigger tournament than the Barcelona Summer Cup. In that tournament, you have all the European top teams playing in that tournament, and the UK team. And I could tell you that particular tournament, we played against Villarreal. They won the under-19 age group. They were in our group. And, you know, the fantastic thing about it, we also took a lot of players from different schools. So we end up with players from Presentation College. As a matter of fact, we were fortunate to have Mr. Leslie Hoyt, well, a stalwart in terms of football, coaching, and discipline. He was the trainer. And
you had anybody who got into any university or anything like that?
Yeah. We have a lot of players into university.
Okay, so
national
let's
players
highlight
too.
some of that. Yeah.
Right. But I just want to add a little bit to this particular tournament. Coming out of this tournament, we came out from the group of 16. We went to the group of 16, and when we played against Barcelona, I think we had an emotional breakdown with players. Just knowing that we had to play Barcelona, we got 8-0. And that's after beating our team 2-0 with almost 100 years history in Spain. The players came down, and as Dunstan said, we had 2 of the players making it on the national beach football team because they went on trials and they made it. Kevin Williams and Omari Beard from Presentation College. Omari Beard. We also have a lot of players who end up on scholarship abroad.
Correct.
We have, on the girls' side, we have Kerry Myers. She's still abroad. We have Chilette Alexander. I think she's going to do her master's. We also end up having Kelsey Henry, even though Kelsey Henry is St. Augustine, she started with us. She just started university. Rennie Mike is abroad. Gavin Samaru went abroad. Well, I think he's back with UTT now. Right? And it's a long list. We had one player who admired the most, Desta Swift. She went from being a national footballer to also a national netballer with UTT. Right?
Okay.
So,
Sandra, what do you have?
Well, I started to go to Tobago with my academy, my U15s, my U13s and 12. Just went and played some practice games. Following year, we went to St. Clair Coaching School, the under 10 and under 12, which the under 10 captured the title, and also the under 12 came third. We also got individual players like best goalkeeper, MVP, most goal. We decided to go a little further. We went to Tobago to the Caribbean Cup, and sorry, not Tobago, Barbados, to the Barbados International Cup. I took a under 17 team there. We did not qualify out of the group, but it was a good try. The youth to teens played in another tournament in Barbados and came out victorious. The following year, we went back with the under 19, in which we came third with Mr. Keon Mason, got MVP of that league. After doing so, we sit and we decided to try something in the European side or to America and what have you. And our MP, Mr. Rambachan, came to us and asked us if we are interested in going to Brazil. And we told him yes. But everything did not fulfill through him. But the ambassador of Brazil put us on to the Brazilian link, Mr. Sai Padmo, and he planned a whole program for my academy. And we went to Brazil, which was a very great success. It had opened our youngsters' eye, even the coaches. It had opened our eyes to what we were exposed to at a different level, where the kids played with different clubs, come back together, play against clubs, and they had experience of being coached under an international coach and also play against international team, which was a great success. This year we are going looking forward in going this time, but we're not going back to Sao Paulo. We'll be going to Manus. And everything is basically sponsored by the parents.
Oh, great.
And we have some national players coming from the academy, Mr. Keston Julian. From our academy, he went on to W Connection and went on. He's on the European side. Mr. Levi Garcia also had a little time with us. We also have Anthony Herbert. He played with the national under 15. Nate Brooks. He also played on the national under 15. My daughter, Jasandra Joseph, played with the youth 13s, youth 15s, youth 17s. Unfortunately, because of a medical, she is off the national team for now. Hopefully, by the grace of God, she will heal. And out of the same academy, while I was not there, we had Mr. Oswald James. We have people like Stephen Campbell. I think that's one of the Trinidadians that had scored a goal in World Cup. Mr. Stephen Campbell. We also had Steve Pompey, Nicholas Pompey, two of my brothers, Polycarp Alexander, Roel France. So a lot of talent came out of Gasperlo at national and international level. And all I want to say is, people, viewers listening, I need people to come on board to give assistance and your support, whether financially, moral, or financial, moral, or however. We need your support. Gasperlo youths need the support of the community. And looking forward to
Good. Anthony.
We've gone nowhere, Steve. And one of the things I reinforce to the kids who play with us is that we're not going to go anywhere until we feel that we've gotten to a level that we can really compete with teams that are at the upper echelon of football.
Right.
You know, so their goal in training is to work day in, day out to get to that point where we genuinely believe, you know, and today is different. These kids can go onto YouTube and see Barcelona's under 11s play.
Right.
There's a boy named Javi Simmons, who everybody's talking about right now. So my kids at that age can tell you everything this kid does, you know. So the message that we've sent to them is that one day soon we hope to make one of these trips, but it's got to be meaningful for us, you know. On the other side of it, I mean, we have quite a few kids who've gone off on scholarship. I can't really sit here and attest that they are part of our setup from the very onset. Many of them went to Presentation College. They've played for other teams.
Right.
But we've got about 7 of them who've gone on scholarship abroad. And for me, that's easy. As long as the kids have the academic
Right.
and they've done their SATs, those opportunities will always be there. I was based abroad. Many of my colleagues are coaching at universities in the States. But the upper echelon type things involved in football, playing in tournaments, involving, you know, big teams, that is, you know, that's a ways away for us, to be honest.
Right.
it.
I'm getting close to the end. Any one of you guys could make a plea for everybody, to the sponsors, to the like Sandra said, to the public, to whatever. Pardon what?
Me again?
A plea to these sponsors out there. It's difficult. I mean, we're in tough economic times, and every single person involved in everything from currently Carnival, which is one thing that always supported the football, to cricket, is having problems securing funding. I think the message I would send to everybody, however, involved in football, is that we've got to really, really work to produce a product that people want to buy into, you know. And so I know, as it pertains to what we do, our philosophy, we work every day to get to a point where instead of having to go out and beg corporate Trinidad for some assistance, we want to get to a point where they're coming and wanting to be involved in what we do. And that's the message I think we've got to send to everybody involved in football. That's the sort of work that's involved in what we're doing. We just don't have an environment in Trinidad and Tobago where people are just willing to support sports or things of that nature. So the approach has to be a little different.
Correct. I agree. I always tell people the thing to look at is there's a difference between sponsorship and endorsement. Sponsorship is you writing a letter and hoping that they endorsement is when you have a product that is good enough that corporate TNT or anybody wants to align themselves with. And the first thing is always to ensure that you put yourself to the point that endorsement is an option. If that fails, then we should criticize. But for now, it's to ensure that the product is up. And you all are doing the groundwork. This is the basis of our football in Trinidad and Tobago. Continuous exposure, whether it be going on trip, bringing people here, or just having these guys play in different communities where they are uncomfortable from their environment. That is the focus, because for a guy from San Fernando going and play in Port of Spain or in Mayaro, it's a total different game. And even if we can't reach out there, we could do that among here. And I also want to say that, Mr. Sherwood, although you said that you worked with, you haven't traveled yet, you've also been somebody that is aligned to dealing with some of the top players when they need to be kept in shape. So it's always something that I say, the education of all you guys here with the football, persons are seeing that they need to deal with you all when they reach a certain level. So we have to endorse you guys from the start. So when we reach up there, at least we know the foundation was good.
I got to thank you guys so much for being here. And I also, on behalf of all the kids and the parents and the association and everything, Trinidad and Tobago, I want to thank you guys so much because you guys done yeoman's work to get these kids ready. And it's very difficult, the job that you guys do. And I appreciate you so much for that. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having
ACTN,
us.
thank you for giving us the opportunity. Viewers, thank you for tuning in every Monday night at 8 o'clock. And on Tuesday, we repeat at 1 o'clock. And you do that as well. And we appreciate you for that as well. We do have a Facebook page. You can check us out on that. And we do have an email address, feelerdreamstt@gmail.com, in which you can drop us a line. The show's ended. Go in peace. My name is Steve David. And I'll see you next Monday night. Good night.